Respected elder brothers and sisters, and then particularly younger brothers and sisters. Indeed, I feel great honor to meet you, to what's the day? Interaction, right? Because you, these young student, you are the true, I think, generation of 21st century. I myself, and also those elder brothers, sisters, we belongs to 20th century. So 20th century already gone. Our past, we cannot change. Just we learn from past event. Now future still yet to come. So our own hand, whether future be happy future or troubled future, is on our own hand. So these young people, your generation of 21st century, this 21st century, now 2000, correct, 19, right? 2019. So remaining not yet come. So you, the generation of 21st century, if you make, let's say, the effort to create more happy society, I think within this century, basically, we can change world. Because today's world, there are so many problems. Such as global warming and some nature disaster, that's beyond our control. But many problems, essentially, our own creation. Now, according to scientists, basic human nature is compassionate. It's quite logical. We are social animal. Any social animal, individuals survive, individuals' success entirely depend on the community. So because we are social animal, you see, individuals' life depend on community. Now, in terms of community, today's reality, directly or indirectly, entire 7 billion human beings is our community. East, future of East depend on West. West also depend East. Similarly, South and North. Because of population, because of technology and information. So, now, it's all thinking. My continent, my nation, only think. Limited people. I think that gone. In 20th century, I think too much emphasis, my nation, my community. You see, too much sort of, what's it, kasa? Divisions. And then the concept of we and they. On that basis, killing. Previous century, First World War, even same European, but too much emphasis, my nation, their nation, and concept of we and they. Result, killing. And then Second World War. Then at least in Europe, no Third World War, because Europeans, through difficulties, they gain the experience. Now it is better to think common interest rather than my nation or their nation. So European Union developed. It is quite clear, since the European Union start, among the member states, now last few decades, no longer killing. If European Union not develop, then I'm quite sure last few decades some killing. I think certainly happen. So therefore, now that's one example. Previously, the early part of 20th century, France, Germany, it's an arch enemy. And then after Second World War, the end of the 20th century, then people realize now no use fighting, too much emphasis, my nation, their nation. So under the leadership of de Gaulle of France and leadership of Adenauer of Germany, these two, during war, arch enemy. But then new circumstances, you see, develop. So these two persons, you see, the leading person to create European Union. I often, you see, telling, expressing, now we need this spirit, union, in Latin America should develop some union. Then Africa also, you see, Northern Africa, East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, some kind of union. Look, this country, India, I think China is the most populated nation. Then second, this country, over 1 billion population. East India, South India, West India, North India, Central India, different culture, different script. But we all happily remain India's union. So these are, I think, the human beings, concerned people's thinking more realistic way. So now, you younger generation now have to think entire 7 billion human being, one our big community. So we need a sense of oneness of 7 billion human being. Different race, different culture, different language, different religion. It is personal matter. But our common responsibility is think about humanity. And then also, our life very much depends on nature. So we have to take care about nature or environment. It is wrong to think we only exploit nature resources. No, we also have the responsibility to take care this planet. Now, global warming, within my lifetime, it become more serious. According to some ecologists, within the next few decades, due to global warming, a lot of difficulties may come. So therefore, we also usually have the responsibility to take care about the environment. That's very important. So you younger generation, now firstly think oneness of 7 billion human beings. The emphasis my nation, their nation, my religion, their religion is outdated. We should think same entire human being. We mentally, emotionally, physically, 7 billion human beings are same. And then on top of that, take care about environment. Now, for example, Dharamsala, 1960, I shifted from Mussoorie. 1959, I reached India, then hurriedly arranged my place in Mussoorie. Then government of India, you see, think more permanent sort of basis. Then they arranged me to stay Dharamsala. In 1960, I shifted from Mussoorie to Dharamsala. That winter, 60, winter, lot of snow, Dharamsala. We play much. Then, year by year, less. So we actually experienced. And then Tibet also. In previous generations, they say some of the mountain around Lhasa, a lot of snow, gradually less. So now they eventually, I think, water resources truly become difficult. So we have to take care about the environment. This also part of sense of global responsibility. Firstly, entire human being, no differences of religion, no difference of nationality. And within India, no differences of caste system. These are outdated. We have to think oneness, as I mentioned earlier, union of India, entire Indian, oneness of Indian. And the religion, I think in this country, wonderful religious harmony. I think over 2,000 years, different religious tradition. Within India, firstly, I think 3,000-4,000 years ago, the Sangha philosophy. That's the earliest Indian philosophy. Then gradually, the Jain philosophy, and many other sort of branches of Sangha philosophy. Then Buddhist philosophy. Then meantime, the Christian, Muslim. And Bombay, the Parsi, about 100,000 population, very small, but they carry their Zoroastrian very peacefully, no fear. Big city, Bombay, millions of Hindus, millions of Christians, millions of Islam, Muslim, but no fear. So that's India. So religious harmony in this country really wonderful. Could be example of rest of the world. That also, I think, very urgent now these days, and very name of religion. For example, Shia and Sunni killing in Afghanistan, in Syria. Now there is real danger now these days. What's it? Kasa. Kajir Kasa. Iran, mainly Shia, and Saudi Arabia, and so on, Sunni. Beside political and economic sort of complication, they also, okay. That's a real blessing. Besides complications of difficulties, economy or these things, but Shia, Sunni religion, that also I think caution. So, rest of the world. And then, unfortunately, Burma, Buddhist, and with the Muslim, some conflict. So such occasion, such situation, India's religious harmony must show rest of the world. All different religious traditions can live together with mutual respect. So, since I sort of experienced in this country religious harmony, so one of my commitment is promotion of religious harmony. Otherwise, all major religious traditions, in spite of different philosophical views, all they carry the real message of love. whether Muslim, Christian, Jews, Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, and everyone. Logically, very simple. All this religion is man's religion, human beings' religion. The human being's best quality is compassion, love, loving kindness. Our very life starts with loving kindness. Without mother's loving kindness, we can't survive. It is simple. Not talking about next life or nirvana. Simply, this very life, very much related with loving kindness. So all those major religious traditions carries same message of love. In philosophical field, there is differences. But all these different philosophical views, same goal, you see, to build conviction about compassion, loving kindness. So different philosophy is necessary. Human being, different culture, different mental disposition. So we need different philosophical views. Therefore, for example, Buddhism, within same Buddhist sort of community, and particularly Nalanda tradition, there are actually four major schools of thought: Vibhashik, Saudantic, Chitta Mantra, Madhyamika. And each have some sort of divisions there. So same people who follow Buddhism and recite Buddham Shanam Gacchami, Dhammam Shanam Gacchami, Sangham Shanam Gacchami. But because of different mental disposition, you see, different philosophical views, you see, develop. That's one example. And Muslim, Shia, Sunni, and Christian, Catholic, Protestant, so on. These things. So in philosophical field differences, but then we must realize all different philosophical sort of thinking, all, you see, aiming to bring conviction, the importance of loving kindness. So there's real possibility to develop religious harmony. So it is quite terrible. In the name of religion, killing each other. Terrible, unthinkable. So religious harmony in this country, over 1,000 years, this religious harmony in there, it is really India's one precious to show the world religious harmony is possible and important. So now, you young Indian, since future, you are the generation of future. So you should think more seriously. Firstly, India, in the past, India, I think, really made certain sort of significant contribution on this world, at least whole Asia. India's message, Buddha's message, cover almost entire Asia countries. Although I never state Buddhism is best, each different people, different mental disposition, we can say, oh, for this person, this religion is best, like medicine. We cannot say one medicine, this is best medicine, we cannot say. Judging the patient's condition, then we can say, for your case, this medicine is best. Similarly, religion, I never said Buddhism is best. So we have to also choose religion according individual's mental disposition. But important, all religion, you see, carry or teach us loving kindness. Among the religion, basically two groups, theistic religion, non-theistic religion. Theistic religion believe God, creator. Non-theistic religion, in the Sangha philosophy, Sangha tradition, two groups. One group believe creator. One no faith, no belief, creator, or rather self-creation. Then Jainism also same, no creator. And Buddhism also no creator, self-creation. Buddha clearly mentioned, you are your own master. Sometimes I feel Buddha's own sort of selfish sort of view, the responsibility, or say to give each person's shoulder. So each person's future depends yourself, not Buddha. Buddha mentioned this very clearly. I mentioned to you, I teach to you how to transform our emotion. But entire responsibility is yourself. I have no power to remove human beings' suffering or wash human beings' sin or negative thing, negative emotion. So, non-theistic religion. Then non-theistic religion, for example, Jain, basically no creator, but they practice ahimsa very seriously. And Jainism, pure vegetarian, they never sort of harm other, like that. So therefore, these are non-theistic. Then theistic religion, I think the rest of the major world religion are theistic, believe creator. Then when they explain about creator, they always say, infinite love. God is infinite love. And God creates whole world, whole universe. So that creator, like our Father, infinite love. So if you seriously also they follow this teaching, then entire human being are brothers, sisters from one Father. And then impossible to kill each other. All are children of one Father, one God. So therefore, the theistic religion, very powerful. This is to teach we are creature of God, infinite love. One time, one Muslim, also the spiritual leader, one time used to express in public, as a Muslim, you should extend loving kindness towards the entire creature of Allah. Wonderful. Respect Allah. So all the creature of Allah we must respect. So all is a major rich tradition. If you seriously think, seriously practice, and all have same potential to produce good human being, warm-hearted human being. So now, today's world, out of 7 billion, around 1 billion non-believer. Now to these people, India's tradition is secular, not necessarily believer, but any human being, any sentient being need sense of compassion, warm-heartedness, according to secular way. That's great. Then basically this country, over 3,000 years, the concept of ahimsa. Ahimsa, action level. In order to carry peaceful action, non-violent action, mental level, you need karuna. That also, over 3,000 years, already in this country developed shamatha, single-pointed meditation, and vipassana, analytical meditation. I think among different civilization, Egyptian civilization, Chinese civilization, Indus Valley civilization, the origin of Indian civilization. Among these civilization, I think that this civilization very much sort of produce a lot of thinkers, including those Sangha philosopher and Jain philosopher, Buddhist philosopher, because you see, analytical meditation, not just faith. So person who practice analytical meditation, then even Buddha's own word, when we see, we never say yes, yes, no. We say why. Buddha himself, you see, mentioned, oh my follower, monks, scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion, but rather thorough investigation and experiment. That's a very scientific way. So therefore, the follower of Buddha in the Nalanda master, you see a lot of argument, even Buddha's own sort of teaching. Some cases they reject. If you accept this Buddha's teaching literally, it against reason, therefore we must reject. So investigation, experiment is most important. So these are Indian tradition. So India, I think, in ancient time, I think this nation produced concept of ahimsa, karuna. So I often used to telling, in 20th century, Mahatma Gandhiji, firstly he practiced non-violence within the country when freedom struggle carried. It certain impact outside the world, like Nelson Mandela and so on. they totally believe non-violence. Now, this 21st century, I think India should show rest of the world compassion, karuna. A lot of problems which we are facing is due to anger, hatred, jealousy, fear. With these, fear and too much competition. More karuna here. Respect entire human being. As I mentioned earlier, entire human being, we are same. We are human brothers, sisters. So there is no room extreme competition and anger, hatred. So most of the the creator of these man-made problem is anger. Anger very much related with selfish. So karuna, respect other, sense of concern of others' well-being. That is there, no room of anger, hatred, exploitation. So these add secular way, whether believer or non-believer, doesn't matter. So long we are human being, so long we are social animal, we need mentally, emotionally, which bring together. That's karuna. So, I want to tell this young Indian, I think India, during British rule, Britisher introduced modern education. Modern education very much oriented about material value. So through that education, eventually materialistic life, materialistic culture, not much. Then people who come through materialistic education, materialistic sort of life, when emotion develop, very difficult. Only drugs or alcohol, and worse thing, suicide. If person who have from young age some knowledge how to tackle anger or emotion, then you can, when anger about to come, you have the ability to reduce that. Here now I think something very, very encouraging thing is all destructive emotion based on ignorance, narrow-minded, short-sighted. All the positive emotions such as karuna, full of reason. So for temporary destructive emotion, very powerful, but think more, then no sound basis. The positive emotion, sound basis. So we can continuously, increase like that. So these are Indian tradition. Now you, young Indian, of course, you have to think about material value, but at the same time, ancient Indian sort of knowledge how to tackle our emotion. That's very important. Nowadays, I always is telling, India have the ability to combine modern education and ancient Indian knowledge. Modern education related with material sort of development and technology, science, very good, very important. Meantime, ancient Indian knowledge brings inner peace, how to tackle our emotion. So, this country can combine these two things. See, training or transforming our emotion, this knowledge is your own knowledge, not from outside. So only question is revival of these ancient Indian knowledge. One of my commitment is try to revival of ancient Indian knowledge. So the young people, if you combine modern education, modern knowledge, and ancient Indian knowledge, how to tackle my emotion, then your life certainly be more happier, more calm. Very important. So these young people, sometimes I jokingly telling my Indian friend, this physical, not Indian, but my mind is I am more Indian than these old Indian who are city Western educated. So therefore, through my own experience, my life, a lot of sort of complication, difficulties. But I have the ability to keep peace of mind because of India's knowledge. So through my own experience, these 1,000-year-old India's tradition to tackle our destructive emotion, to keep calm. Okay. So that much I want to share with you. Now I want to take some questions.
Namaskar, Your Holiness. My name is Shatvam. I'm from the Shri Ram School, Malsari. My question was, how do you reconcile the Buddhist concept of nothing being eternal, which I believe is anatta, with the concept of a reincarnated eternal soul, which I believe is samsara?
Yes, Hinduism, Buddhism is like twin brothers. And practice of Shila, practice of Shamatha, practice of Vipassana, same. Except the question of the Atma and the Anatma. Now, the description about Atma is this physical, including brain and the mind, is the kaza, long jaja. Or in any way, when we feel I is something owner of this body and mind, my body, my mind. So we feel there is some separate identity, I, which not depend on this physical, this mind. So, independent self, that's Atma. So that's very helpful to think previous life, this life, next life. Then Buddhist anathema theory, beside this body and mind, no independent self. If self completely independent or separate from this body and mind, then you can't say, I'm Tibetan, I'm Indian. You can't say. Indian and Tibetan, entirely based on this physical. So, I is there, self is there, but designated on the combination of this human body, human mind. Then more detailed, mainly mind. Mind sensorial level mind, and then chit, sixth mind. So chit, sixth mind, also you see, the awakened state, while I'm using the sensorial sort of consciousness, the chit on grosser level. When I sleep, dreaming, sensorial consciousness no longer function, chit remain. Then deep sleep without dream, further deeper. Then the deepest at the time of death or faint. Now chit, the very subtle level chit, also momentarily changing. Anything which momentarily changing is, there must be causes. Without cause, it cannot happen. Among the cause, one substantial cause, one because of cooperative or cause. Cooperative cause, yes, the semen or blood, these are cooperative. But substantial cause is, there must be continuation of mind, consciousness. Without a continuation, any sort of mind, consciousness must come continuous because of previous continuation of mind. So that is the reason this mind, the subtle mind, not grosser level mind, subtle mind must be previous continuation of subtle mind. That's through that way, previous life. And then also, there are cases, you see, who remember about past life. I think there must be some children, when you are young, 3-4-year-old, sometimes, you see, some express about their memory of past life. I met some Indian many years ago, one from Ludhiana, young girl, very clearly memory about past life. Then Kanpur, another sort of very young girl. They express very clearly their past life, their home and past life's parent. So they, at the previous life, at young age, some accident die. So the previous life's parent is still there. When they met, the two previous lives' parents fully convinced that girl is their previous sort of their daughter's life. So actually, when I met them, that girl, 4 parents, 2 parents of this life, 2 parents of previous life. Such things, you see, happen there. Then among, you see, Tibetan, one young Tibetan who born in Lhasa, I think. So he always insists, my place is not here, India. Then reached Dharamsala. When they reached Dharamsala, the boy insists, this is not my place, in South India. Then one monastery, South India, Kandan monastery. When they reached Kandan monastery, that young boy, you see, show there are two parents. His previous life's house, when that boy reach that house, then say, oh, this is my life, my house. And he also, you see, express one box, my glass there, and open, yes, there's glass. Recently, I met, you see, that boy. I asked him, now do you remember past life? He said, no. And I feel glad. I also do not remember. When I sort of older, when I was very young, according to my mother, I express some sort of memory about past life. So I found my companion, young age, express the previous life, become 10-year-old no longer. So like that. So now some scientists begin to feel, oh, some cases, you see, sort of Arsade, seriously express past life. So it is some phenomena. Yes.
Hello. Your Holiness, my question to you is that many faiths state that when we are born, our life is already pre-written. So whatever happens with us is already written by a supreme entity. Then what is the use of a concept of karma that states that whatever we do reflects in the incidents that happen with us?
Karsa, before I take this, feel hungry. Take this, some change. So, karmic research, firstly, whole cosmology. And entire human being, their life, due to their previous karma. Karma means action, their previous action. In order to take human life, there must be good action, positive action, more compassionate action, helping other. That creates more merit. That merit brings good life. So karma there. Karma means action. So, but meantime, one human body, this body, due to my previous good karma, no question. At the same time, when I feel hungry, and take some biscuits, some change. That also is a reality. The opportunity I have this bread or these things also is due to karma. But case to case is the immediate cause, as I mentioned earlier, immediate cause and long-term cause, like that. So, like that. Okay, then your real point is, what is the real point? No, I think previous karma bring this human body. Now you cannot change this human body to another body. It's fixed. But meantime, on human body, some sort of different experience and immediate karma also make differences. So it is quite complicated. But the main reason is law of causality. Cause, effect, cause and effect. So among the cause, long-term cause short-term cause, immediate cause, like that. Okay.
Your Holiness, it's always been my dream to come and seek your blessings. Do you permit if I could please come to you and
Asa.
just meet you?
Okay.
Thank you.
Namaskar, Your Holiness. My name is Abhimanyu and I study in the Shri Ram School, Mulsari. My question to you is, who has been your best friend throughout your life?
I have a lot of friends. So difficult to say who is best. One thing, most closest sort of person is my mother. I usually is telling, my mother is first teacher of compassion. My mother never show angry face. Quite unusual. Very good. My father not like that. Several occasions, I received some blessing in form of like that. So, young age, I don't like my father. I really loves my mother, very, very kind. And when I was young, we are villager, a very poor family. So my mother always carry me when mother working in field or look after animal. She always carry me. So eventually I found very comfortable on mother's shoulder. And then eventually I become quite bold, so hold my mother's ear. And then I want to go this side or this side. If mother not listen, then my like that. So, and then of course many friends. Or sometimes I feel some people, 1959, we separate. I escaped from Nobulinga. Many of them remain there. Sometimes I feel very sad. So otherwise, I always carry the belief, sense of oneness of human being. So wherever I go, I always feel my friend, my friend, my friend, my brother, my sister. You see, no demarcation. So every day, in morning, after I get up and some shower, and before my breakfast, I usually used to go round like a hotel in New Delhi or some other places. There's some Indian police always there. So then I say hello, and then, one occasion in Delhi, I practiced that after I got up and washed these things. Then I went from my room and some Indian police there. Then I asked, what do you think my age? Then my age already 80 years, over 80 years. So then the police, express, oh, your age looks like 70s or 60s, 70s. Then I told my age over 80 years. Then I show my teeth. very good teeth. Then I show my lips, red lips. Then I show them. Everybody laugh. I always think we are same. No differences. That really brings me, wherever I go, I always see all same human brothers, sisters. And whenever this is some sort of, occasion, teasing each other. So I have a lot of friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those mesmerizing and humorous words, Your Holiness.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Highness. You once said that be ready to change your goals but never change your values. I wish to know how the sport is relevant in the present time when everyone is bothered only about oneself. How can we relate values with our present scenario?
Now here, mainly two things. Most of destructive, harmful emotion related with self-centered attitude. For that, compassion, think others, altruism, or think more altruism than self-centered attitude which then gradually soften. This is one way. One way, as I mentioned earlier, negative emotion very much related with ignorance. That means negative emotion very much based on appearances, not the reality. Now quantum physics also, now some quantum physicists, they now, some, you see, realize once you also the deeper understanding quantum physics, nothing exists as appears. Then those emotion which based on appearances reduce. So this exactly Nagarjuna, Madhyamika Mulakarika clearly mentioned that the purpose of understanding shunyata, emptiness. Emptiness, not nothingness, but does not empty kasoda things appears something objectively exist. That does not exist. Things exist due to many other factors, no independent existence. Absence of independent existence we call shunyata. So that's very useful. So therefore now main thing is this gap, appearances and reality. So all negative emotion based on appearances. If you, now for example, when you saw something positive, objectively exist, so very much grasping, that develop attachment. And negative things appear absolute negative, independently exist. So then anger come. So both very much based on appearances. For that, now thinking the deeper level, nothing exists as appears. Then these destructive emotion automatically reduce. Okay.
Namaskar. Thank you very much for being with us today. My question to you was, how did you find out that you were the next Dalai Lama, and what was your experience of taking on that responsibility?
Harsa.
what was your experience of taking on the responsibility of being the Dalai Lama?
Next life, not my business. Of course, first Dalai Lama, he, in his autobiography, he mentioned when he, not autobiography, but one Kasota. Biography. When he become old, around 85 years, so some occasion he expressed, now I'm too old. And some of his student, very good scholar, he himself, good scholar. So naturally, among his students, some good scholar, and some express, now according to your own dream, you are ready to go to Sukhavati, heaven, heavenly sort of place. Then he expressed, I have no desire to born some sort of heavenly sort of place. My wish is reborn place where more suffering there, and I can make some sort of help. He mentioned that. When I saw that part of his sort of story, I really very much moved. I also thinking my next life, whether this planet or different, as the galaxies, wherever some my sort of small contribution serve other. That's my main also thinking. So my main prayer daily, as long as space remain, as long as sentient beings suffering remain, I will remain in order to serve. That's my main prayer. Shantadeva, you see, he mentioned that. You see, that part of the shloka, I really feel. Then not only this life, but till space remain, sentient beings remain, wherever I born, and some service. That's a fulfill of Atma, or whether called Atma or Anatma. That's the way, isn't it? That really gives me purpose of our life, and also feeling self-confidence. Wonderful. So altruism is source of inner strength, and altruism is source of happiness, joyfulness. Too much self-centered. Then look this side, fear. This side, fear. Isn't it? Altruism, open. Everywhere you feel positive, something positive. So whether believer or non-believer, altruism is the key factor to bring inner peace. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
A very good morning, sir. I am Dhruv from DPSDV, and I have a very simple question for you. That you've always stated, to be a happy soul, you need to have a peace of mind. But being a student, we have a million thoughts popping in our head and out of it. So how do we attain a peace of mind?
Everybody, old, young, we all have the same sort of nature of mind. So student, sometimes you need sense of competition. But competition, two kinds. One competition, in order to reach you yourself first, deliberately create some problem to other. That sense of competition is wrong. But the sense of competition, you reach first and then show others have to work hard. That kind of sense of competition is right. With that kind of sense of competition is really helpful to both further development, further progress, isn't it? When I was young, I'm quite lazy. So my tutor sometimes use threat, show one weep. Hmm? So certainly, you see, with sincere motivation. So at that time, I don't like, when I saw that weep, I don't like. But these method, main sort of the aim, also, main motivation is a good study myself. So every action related with motivation, more altruistic motivation, then even little fighting, okay. Okay, thank you.
Your Holiness, the Dalai Lama, respected co-chairpersons Mrs. Vasavi Bharatra Ma'am and Radhika Bharatra Ma'am, principals and vice principals of all campuses, teachers, my fellow students from Shri Ram and other schools. As Your Holiness had once said, if we make an effort to educate those who are young now in inner values, they will see a different, peaceful, more compassionate world in the future. Your presence here, Your Holiness, has just that transformative power. To be a part of the audience today with you in our midst has been inspiring, enriching, and an absolute honor for all of us. I speak on behalf of all present here today that we feel blessed to be here on this august occasion and to have heard the rousing words of Your Holiness. Your words have helped shape mindsets of people across the world, and today we have had the same privilege. Today's interaction with Your Holiness is sure to give many of us here a fresh perspective on how we should embrace life with tolerance, acceptance, and compassion, values that we often tend to lose touch with in this fast changing and in many ways challenging world. I can say with absolute conviction that each person present here today will leave feeling comforted, enlightened, and hopeful. We acknowledge this with humility and gratitude. We promise to apply the teachings of Your Holiness to our lives so we can help spread kindness around us, taking a step towards making our world a better place. We are also grateful to Mr. Tempa Sering and the Bureau of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, the SPIC MACAY organization, and the SRF Foundation for all their support and guidance in putting this morning together. A special thank you to all the attending schools and colleges for making this morning a special one. Once again, on behalf of the Shri Ram School, I would like to thank Your Holiness for obliging us with your presence and addressing our student body. We are truly and eternally grateful for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. So, one sentence Buddha stated, you are your own master. So, in order to have happy life, or entirely depend on yourself, your own way of thinking, proper way of thinking there, then even some difficult situation, you still can maintain peace of mind. And when you met some enemy, criticize you, you see, you may develop respect or appreciation. The criticism, you see, brings practice of patience. So Shantadeva mentioned, your enemy is your best teacher. Strange, these thinking, very wise. Thank you. Thank you.